get you like a parade float or something. Okay? Jodi, who lives here in Gainesville, is married and has a son, and Jodi works at UF Health as a nurse. Here's Jodi. Yes, exactly. What you do. Yep.
So I had my first crush on Brittany in my first grade class. In second grade class, I had a crush on Mary Beth. My third grade class, I had a crush on Jamie. I really didn't know that I was any different. I mean, do you know you're different when you're that young? I don't think you do until someone points it out. So my mom did that. So she's constantly trying to put me in a dress, and I'm constantly trying to put shorts on. And I remember this one time she put me in this pink and purple striped thing. Apparently it was called a jumper. I called it a onesie. Most of the day I spent on a hot summer day just wearing a jacket trying to cover that thing up because it just screamed girl. So at that point I started kind of thinking in my young age, that's kind of strange, you know, Mom thinks I'm kind of weird, I guess, I don't know. I'd rather have shorts, a t-shirt, and a ball cap on and just cruise on. It wasn't until one afternoon and probably fourth grade, the second time around. It was kind of slow. A little slower than I talk. But that I realized that other people thought I was different. I was in the bathroom doing my thing. You know how your teacher takes you all in a little parade after lunch. I don't know if they still do that, but that's what we did. So we're all in there, and I'm sitting on the toilet doing my thing, and boom, the door flies open. There's 3 or 4 girls there standing there, and they're like, lift my shirt up. We just want to see if you're in the right bathroom. And I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. At that point in my life, I realized that it wasn't just my mom and the jumpers and the onesies and all that that thought I was different. It was other people also. Middle school, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you just kind of go through life doing your thing. I went on into middle school, and I had a crush on Sally, and I had a crush on some other girl, I don't know. I was doing pretty good remembering names. You know, I just went on into middle school and did my thing. It really wasn't that bad. My parents at the time, and my family, started going to a Pentecostal church. If you don't know what Pentecostals are, I'll tell you. They are the people that speak in tongues, and yes, I tried. And they lay hands on each other, you're slain in the spirit, and most importantly, they drive out the demons of homosexuality. So, yeah, and I guess they dance with snakes, but ours didn't do that. So I didn't have that privilege. So I started going to the Pentecostal church for Assembly of God. And for the most part, it was okay. I had people in my classes that went to the church, and it was okay. And there was lots of pretty girls to have crushes on. And so I did it. And I started going to missions trips, which was an easy way to tell people, you know, when they ask, why don't you have a boyfriend? Well, I'm just dedicating my life to Christ. No offense, and I do still believe I dedicate my life to Christ. It was also the time that I started realizing that I could never tell anyone about who I was. I was involved in a play at our church called Heaven's Gates and Hell's Flames that you were, I guess it describes itself, but I was a demon, And the play depicted a gay man that was killed in a car accident, and his lover was grieving his death, and I was the demon that came to grab him and drag him to hell, because that's what God did with homosexuals. It was rough. It was not cool. So I knew at that point in my life that I could never tell my friends or my family that I was gay, and that I had all these crushes on all these girls, and you know, I just, this is who I was. And so at that point I became this inner struggle that was constant. I was trying to be this Christian and, you know, suppress this spirit of homosexuality, and at the same time watching everyone have what I wanted. I cruised on into high school, and of course I played softball. Unfortunately, I played softball in Palaca. That's about as bad as Pentecostal, I know. So I never met anyone gay. If they were, we sure didn't tell each other. We didn't have a code, we didn't wink or nothing. So I went on through high school. I had crushes on Mindy and Sarah Jean and Julie, and it just went on and on. I graduated high school, and all my friends went off to Christian college, and I just stayed home. I didn't really feel I needed to do that. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started working at Publix, and I was a good bagger. I enjoyed it, and I started liking this girl and having a really strong crush on this girl, Jonette, who also went to my church. And I really feel like the relationship went in the direction that had either one of us said to one another how we were feeling, that it would have been reciprocated. But like every other relationship, I was scared to, you know, step out and say that. The thing is that I think her mother saw it before we even did. And before I knew it, we were being pushed in two totally separate directions. And for the most part, I guess I lost my first love. I was really torn. I was mad. It was the first time I think that my dad realized that I was gay. You know, you don't just get that angry because your friend's leaving. So I did what any normal person would do, and I went to Africa. So I was into missions, so it was the perfect thing for me to do. I would just run away. Of course, then I get there, and I really like Fiona, and I like Kiff, and I like all these people. So I was in Africa, I did my thing, and you know, it was awesome because it kept me grounded as a person. It gave to me something that I couldn't get from, you know, like normal people could have a relationship and gain. I had, you know, they were giving back to me. Missions kept me grounded and kept me on this planet. I was too afraid to commit suicide because I'd go to hell, and I was too afraid to be gay because I was going to go to hell. So it just kind of shot up the middle and hope for the best. So I really enjoyed missions. I do enjoy missions. Giving to people is something really you don't give to them, they give to you. And they kept me here. And so I came home. My intention was to stay in Africa for the rest of my life. I never wanted to come back here. I never wanted to see my family. So I came home, and the church was, you know, open arms, and made me a youth leader, and you know, you're going to be a good example for all these kids. And I'm going, I'm gay. I can't tell you this, but no, I'm probably not. But anyway, so I did. I became a youth leader, and one of the first things that my pastor at the time wanted me to do was this woman, Robin, that was abused by her husband, and she had 3 small children, and they said, can you go stay with her? Can you just, you know, go to her house tonight? I said, sure. Of course, she's blonde and gorgeous, and I'm like 10 years older than me, and before I know it, we're in this, my first gay relationship. And At that time, I think I was like 20 some odd years old. And I was like, wow, this is great. This is wonderful. The problem there again was that she was a youth leader and she began to be convicted of our sin of homosexuality, and, we can't do this. So before I know it, more people are finding out. It was the first time that my parents found out that I was, gay, and it was at that point in my life that I went through a mild conversion therapy, and I say mild because there's many people that have been through way worse, and that should be known. I was laid hands upon by the altar, by the pastor and people of the church. They anointed me with so much oil you could have fried chicken for like a multitude of people. I just kind of let them think that, okay, it's gone. This demon of homosexuality is just gone. I continued to do my thing, just be a youth leader, worked at Publix. I wasn't real sure what I wanted to do with my life, so I started going to nursing school. It was then that the internet was a big thing, and I don't know if you guys remember ICQ or something like that. That's old. So I started entering these chat rooms, and by night, it was like I was a superhero. By night, I was this gay person that was making this identity, and by day, I was this youth leader that was saving children. So I became Trevor Carnley because I didn't know anything about the gay world. I thought that the only way that I could be who I wanted to be and to be with the woman that I wanted to be was to make a facade that I was this guy that I thought that women wanted me to be. And for the most part, I think that I have always related more to the masculine side of things, I guess. Got any makeup on or anything like that. But so I started talking to this woman who had just been left by her husband with 2 small children, and yes, I realized there's a pattern. So for like 6 to longer years, I became Trevor Carnley by night and public super bagger and Christian youth leader by day. And it worked. I could be who I wanted to be and kind of have some satisfaction with my life and perhaps even love myself. I started going to nursing school and of course had crushes in nursing school. I don't know what it is with crushes, but anyway, I can't get rid of them. So my family was going on a vacation to Tennessee, and we were going on a dude ranch, and there was this girl, as soon as I walked in, was like, boom, Blake. I was like, this chick is something. I had a crush on her immediately, and I am not a morning person, but I woke up every morning to go feed the horses. They needed to be fed. I had a long day ahead of them. So I went through and did my thing, and we left. When I left the ranch, I got her number, her address or something, and I started writing her, and just generic, just kind of feeling, putting feelers out there. Because I had never really pursued anyone or told them, hey, I like you. So what ended up, I think I called her and I was like, hey, I really like you. And she goes, oh my God, I wish you would have told me this about a week earlier. She said, I totally had a crush on you as well. And I should have probably moved that. Something. I didn't realize you had to leave right. So she's like, I totally had a crush on you as well, but I've already started this relationship with this girl at the ranch. And I'm like, God. But the first time that I finally, and I'm probably 27, 26 years old, that I have the courage to pursue someone, she's found somebody else. So I'm like, well, screw it. So I go on and I just do my nursing thing. I work night shifts, so It is what it is. And I am at work one night, and this girl comes off the elevator, and she's wearing brown pants with a little white stripe down the side, a blue scrub top, brown hair, brown eyes, little reader glasses like an old lady, and she's got a book. And she could just care less about anyone that's anywhere around her. I mean, she's just coming off there reading her book. And it's at that moment that I realized, this is the one. This is the one I'm gonna get. So she unfortunately is with some guy. I don't know. But I'm like, you know what? I made a promise to myself on that ranch in Tennessee that I'm gonna tell whoever I like next that I like them. And we have this relationship, we're like friends, and we're doing all these things together, and long story even longer, we end up sitting on a little bridge in the Ravine Gardens in Palatka. And we didn't see anybody with guns or anything, so we were good. So we kind of hoo-hum around, we're sitting on this bridge, and we tell each other, I couldn't sleep last night, I couldn't either, and then all of a sudden we're telling each other that we like each other. And so now I have someone that loves me for me, and it helped me to love me, and it helped me to love who I am and who I will become, and we now are married. Together for going on, I think, almost 12 years into 13. Married for 3, thanks to the politics. And we have a son that we did IVF for who is amazing. So it gets better. And it got better for me, and I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate all of your support. Especially you straight people. We love you.